Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into the channel. Today, we have the officially leaked, just leaked, literally just a couple of minutes ago, Eagles 2021 NFL schedule. Week 1 all the way through Week 18, and it's before the NFL Network's official announcement TV cast going on tonight on the NFL Network at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're filming here at 5:30 p.m. We're going to get this video uploaded as soon as possible because we have the leaked and rumored full 2021 schedule. We're going to jump through every single one of these games. So if there's any changes, we'll obviously update you guys here, but I am 99% sure we have the correct schedule here based on all of the research that I have done. So we'll start just going through quickly all the different games, and then of course we'll go ahead and break down some of the more important games as well. Let's start scrolling through them. At Atlanta on the opener, heading back to the ATL, and you get the San Francisco 49ers. Week 2 is the first home game, hopefully with a full capacity crowd at Lincoln Financial Field. At the Dallas Cowboys, one of 2 primetime games, this one on a Monday Night Football. It's going to be a big one early on in the schedule. You get the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes coming back to Philadelphia. Then you go to Carolina Week 5. Then you get a short week against the defending Super Bowl champs and Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football. That's it for primetime games for Philadelphia. Then they have the Raiders, their first trip to Las Vegas on Week 7. They'll go to Detroit following that and play Jared Goff Week 8. Then you get the Chargers Week 9, followed by Denver on the road there in Week 10. You get New Orleans Week 11. You get the Giants in Week 12. And then you stay in the Meadowlands and go ahead and take on the Jets there in Week 13. A late bye this year. Week 14 is going to go ahead and be the bye based on this rumor, which is good news for Philadelphia. The later the bye, in my opinion, always better. You get Washington Week 15. The Giants again, they're Week 16. The Washington again, Week 17, followed by the Dallas Cowboys at home in Philadelphia being the final game of the year. And as always, we end on an NFC East matchup, which could potentially go ahead and determine the division. So, what do you guys think? Predict the Eagles' record in 2021. Again, we're going to break down every single game one by one more in depth, but right now, just a quick glance at the rumored schedule. Give me your prediction on what the Eagles' record is going to go ahead and be down below right now in 2021. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and break it up kind of 4 games at a time because, of course, that's how the season is going to go ahead and be broken up here. So let's just jump into the first 4 weeks of the year. At the Atlanta Falcons is going to go ahead and be the opener. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Obviously, you're going to see Matt Ryan. You'll see Kyle Pitts and the brand new Arthur Smith regime there in Atlanta. Last time they were there, that was the couple years ago on Sunday Night Football whenever Carson Wentz should have hit Nelson Aguilar in stride for a touchdown. He dropped it, and they lost. San Francisco Week 2, is that going to be Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo? But it's early on in the year, probably going to go ahead and be Jimmy Garoppolo. Obviously going to be a tough home opener, though, because San Francisco's roster is really good. The Cowboy matchup, it's the Cowboy matchup, right? Obviously, the Eagle versus Cowboy game is always going to be the biggest one of the year. This one on the road on Monday Night Football. Bummer, no Sunday Night Football Eagles matchup. Those are always my favorite matchups of the entire season, but that one is going to be tough as well. And then the Chiefs there in Week 4, which is obviously going to be brutal because the Chiefs are going to be a good football team. Andy Reid obviously is going to be returning back to Philadelphia. I'm sure he's going to get a standing ovation by Eagle fans. But the main one you got to break down here out of the 4 is obviously going to be the Cowboy game. We go in a little more in depth here at the Dallas Cowboy game, as this is going to be the one that really matters out of the 4. Now, obviously, every single game matters in the Eagles schedule, but it's Dallas. It'll be Dallas Hate Week, and you get it a lot earlier than you have in the past couple of years. And so Eagles versus Cowboys, Dak versus, I guess, Jalen Hurts is probably going to go ahead and be the matchup there. A critical early interdivision matchup and really a tough first 4-game stretch for the Philadelphia Eagles in this season. All right, next 4 weeks here, you get a little bit easier of a stretch. You get at Carolina and presumably Sam Darnold and Matt Rule. Hit the Bucs on a shorter week. That's going to be tough. Obviously, that's the hardest game here of the 4. At the Raiders there in Week 7 in Vegas. And then you go back to the road to go and take on the Detroit Lions in Week 8, and what will be Jared Goff, and should be one of the easier teams that they play throughout the entire schedule. Back to the Bucs game here in Week 6. This is the big one to go ahead and keep an eye on. Not only is it a short week to go ahead and take on Tom Brady, but you do get them at home. That's kind of the early test in the Eagles schedule. And this is going to be just a couple of weeks removed from playing Patrick Mahomes. So either you think it's good to get the hard games out early, or it's bad to get the hard games in early because the Eagles might not be reaching their full potential as early as Week 6. But that Buck game in Week 6 is going to be very difficult, especially on a short week, as they will, of course, go ahead and play on Thursday Night Football. Though Philadelphia, historically, pretty darn good on Thursday Night Football. What's your over-under right now for the win total for Philadelphia? I think right now Vegas has about 6.5-ish wins. You guys going over or under for 6.5 wins for Philadelphia? Let me know down below in the comments section. I'm over. I'm thinking, at least 7 wins, right? 6.5 to me is an easy bet. I would bet on Philadelphia here. Give me the over in terms of the win total for Philadelphia going into 2021, but I'll read your guys' comments down below. Okay, before we go ahead and keep going, again, I mentioned that win probability. Betting on the Eagles has never been easier. I think you've got some pretty easy bets right now to win some money. If you typed over, you can put some money where your mouth is right now with our friends at BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/EaglesBet. Use that promo code EAGLES125 for a 125% deposit bonus when you first put down your first $100. So right now, the NFC East odds are very much in the Eagles' betting favor, I should say, if you want to make even more money. So Dallas is the best odds here at plus 110. Eagles plus 500. You put down $10, you win $50 there. You put down $100, you win $500 you bet on the Philadelphia Eagles. Put in a way early preseason bet here on the Eagles to go ahead and win the division. I'm going to do that because plus 500 are pretty darn good odds. Again, sign up with our friends at BetUS, chatsports.com/EaglesBet. Put $100 down, use that promo code EAGLES125. Get that 125% deposit bonus whenever you go ahead and first sign up. Let's go ahead and keep going here on the schedule. We get into week 9 through 13. Here's the next 5. Get a little bit of some AFC teams here. And again, not too bad of a stretch depending on how good these teams are going to be. And obviously, it's still very early. Get the Chargers there in week 9 up in Philadelphia. Going to be an interesting matchup against Justin Herbert. Chargers could be very good this year. At Denver, where you would presume it's going to go ahead and be Drew Lock. But if they were to trade for Aaron Rodgers, that could be a scenario where they could go ahead and play against Aaron Rodgers there in week 10. Saints in week 11. Very interesting to see how good that football team is going to be. Probably led by Jameis Winston. I would bet over Taysom Hill. But again, who knows at that point in the season. This is really the stretch where we're going to know if the Eagles are going to be in a position to be a playoff football team. Giants and Jets in week 12 and 13. Again, a divisional matchup against the Giants. Hopefully the Jets are an easy win due to the fact that they are a very young football team. But the focus here, as it should be, is going to go ahead and probably be that Saints game. Because the Saints at home, historically, has been a really good matchup against Philadelphia. They've played each of the last couple of years. And it's a Saints football team that last time they were in Philadelphia, the Eagles blew them out. First game Jalen Hurts had ever played. So can he back that up against what might not be as high-powered of a Saints offense, but a really, really strong Saints defense? That's the one I'm going to go ahead and keep an eye on here in week 11. It's going to be a good matchup as well. What do you think is the best game the Eagles are going to play this year? What's the one matchup you're really looking for? Let me know who that is down below in the comments section. I think it's probably, for me, going to be one of the Giants games. Even though I didn't touch on the Giants game here in Week 12, I'll touch on the next one going forward in Week 16, just because the Giants don't like Philadelphia, and they're very much upset that the Eagles, kind of botched the chance for the Giants to win the division. I think it's all completely dumb, and I think the Eagle fans are going to let Giants hear it whenever they come into the link in Week 16. But let me know what the best game is for Philadelphia going to be this season. Okay, before we go ahead and keep going, make sure you guys are subscribed to Philadelphia Eagles now, as if there are any changes to the schedule, which I'm not predicting that there will be, but again, filming here before the NFL Network's official release, before anything else is official. If there are changes, we'll go ahead and update you guys, so go ahead and subscribe down below to the best Eagle channel you can find on YouTube. All the videos are free. We'll keep you guys covered on the latest Eagle stuff heading into what is right now the offseason, getting closer and closer to the start of OTAs and training camp. Let's get into the final stretch here, the final 5. A Week 14 bye to me is fantastic for Philadelphia. They've had early byes the past couple of years. You get kind of the mid to 10 to 6, in that sort of range in terms of the weeks. A Week 14 bye is perfect to go ahead and get healthy and then pedal to the metal here on a final 4-game stretch against all interdivision opponents, right? You get Washington, then you get the Giants, then at Washington, and then the Cowboys. So obviously it's going to be tough, and you're playing opponents that hate you extra special because they're in the NFC East, but you're rested, hopefully, from the bye, and 3 of the final 4 games are going to go ahead and be at home, and so I feel pretty darn good about this entire stretch for Philadelphia, especially as it always is. The Eagles need to go ahead and win football games late against division opponents to hopefully lock down the division. Again, we bring back up here the Giants game I talked about a couple of minutes ago. That's the one that I think is going to be really fun because the Giants could be good at this point, and they could be battling Philadelphia for a top spot in the NFC East. Remember, the Giants are still very, I think, kind of salty about what the Eagles did in benching players late last year and throwing the game against Washington, which turned out to help Philadelphia, but I digress. So that'll be a fun to go ahead and keep an eye on, as obviously Philadelphia can hopefully crush the Giants whenever they're back in the in Philly, to kind of rub in and put insult to injury on what they did to the Giants last year to keep them out of the playoff positions. Okay. Into the division standings from last year quickly here. Again, this is how it panned out. The odds of this being the same are very, very slim. Someone's going to win a lot more than 7 games, in my opinion. A lot better division this year in terms of just overall play and overall players. Philadelphia, 4-11-1. I think they have a very good chance with this pretty easy schedule in terms of the win-loss record from last year's teams to at least be a 7-win football team, but I'm kind of hoping more for 9 or 10. One more time, we'll quickly run through all 17 of the games the Eagles are going to go ahead and play through the 18 weeks. At Atlanta versus San Francisco, at Dallas on Monday Night Football, and then Kansas, Kansas City, excuse me. Get Carolina and Tampa Bay, followed by Raiders and the Lions. Then you go ahead and roll through Week 9. You take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Week 10 at Denver, which could be, again, Aaron Rodgers. Who really knows? Then you go ahead and get one game against the NFC South with the Saints. Then you go at the Giants, at the Jets. The Week 14 bye, we already talked about it earlier. Very excited about that. Then you have the Washington Football Team and the New York Giants at the Washington Football Team, which is probably going to be a very critical game. And then finally, the extra week in the second week of January, the Week 18 matchup against the very hated Dallas Cowboys. All right, before we go ahead and end this video, drop a thumbs up down below if you guys think Philadelphia can make the playoffs this year. Will they make the postseason? You know, it's a winnable division, so I'd be giving the video a thumbs up right now if you guys agree Philadelphia has a really good chance at winning the NFC East. Ultimately, for today here on the channel, I am, of course, your host, Thomas, as we go ahead and sign off here. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.